Hello and welcome back to our class. So, in the previous discussion, we talked about uh, how to delete certain parts of the uh, records in your tables using the delete from. And we also talked about the use of drop keyword. Okay, so you can either drop a portion of your table using alter, or you can also drop either tables or the database itself. Okay, so we also talk about on how to retrieve data from different tables simultaneously, okay, by using the foreign keys of a certain table and connecting it to the primary key of another table to have a bridge or to have a connection to those uh, tables that we have in our database. Okay. So our topic for today is more on about that topic, but we will be uh, adding other features in our SQL. Okay, so I have here the SQL command line client already logged in. Okay, so and ready for operation. And to fast track our discussion, I'll be using a sample database which I have here an SQL dump. Okay. By the way, SQL dump is like a repository of your previous queries or previous commands. Okay. It can be stored in a notepad or just like that. Okay, and you can copy and paste that here in our command line client, or you can also import that via the command itself. Okay, so as of now, I'll just be using copy paste from notepad, which contains my SQL dump, okay, to my SQL. Okay, so I'll just copy my uh, commands here, and then I'll discuss it to you on how it worked or what did it do to my SQL. Okay, so I just copied it and then I'll just paste it here. Okay, in pasting the copied query from your dump, you just have to right click and then it pastes all of those commands. Okay, so here's the command itself. Okay, so I'll just move from the top wherein it created the database first. Okay, so here it is. Okay, so at first it created the database name as convenience store. Okay, so after creating the database, it used that and it created tables right afterwards. Okay, so I'll just zoom in here just to give you a closer look to our commands. Okay, so it created a table, okay, which contains the supplier table supplier, which contained the supplier number, the primary key is considered to be the supplier number and auto increment. Okay, it also has the supplier name, the address of the supplier, okay, which is a varchar type. So it created that table and then it already inserted some samples here. So we have a supplier name, okay, listed here, and then the address listed here. Okay, so I guess you already know about how to insert records by our first lesson in SQL. Okay, so after it created four rows in the supplier table, okay, it displayed the content by using a select asterisk from supplier query. And here we go. We have the supplier number already assigned with the auto incremented numbers here. Okay, and the respective names and addresses of those supplier. Okay. Right afterwards, it created a manufacturer table, okay, which contain a manufacturer number, manufacturer name, okay, so and nothing more. So this might be used later on okay, in retrieving details of an item. Okay, so because our database is all about convenience store, so it's always something to sell. Okay, so after creating the table manufacturer, it created the rows for the table itself to have a content. So here it is the here is the query for that. Okay, so insert into manufacturer. Okay, we just have to indicate a manufacturer name because the manufacturer number is already on auto incremented uh property. Okay, so the values would be these items here as follows. Okay, so after it have created the rows, it displayed that just to make sure or to give us the report of whatever happened before that. Okay, so we have the manufacturer number together with their names. Okay, right afterward, it created the table called as warehouse, wherein it has the warehouse number and then the location of the warehouse. Okay, so the location is on a varchar type while the warehouse number is on integer here. Okay, so after creating the table warehouse, it created the rows for the table itself. So this is maybe where the items will be stored and located or retrieved. Okay, so we have four rows. Okay, Maluwid warehouse, AB Fernandez storage, San Fabian, and then Dagupan City to give us four rows for those warehouse. And then just to make sure, it also dump or paste a uh, a query, okay, to give us the report on the warehouse table. Okay, so there we go. And then, uh, lastly, we have here a table wherein uh, it, it created the table name as item with item number, okay, which acts as a primary key with auto increment property. It also has the item name, okay, which is a varchar type, and then the price is on the integer side. Okay, so I'll just zoom out here and then let you see whatever is in here. Okay, so uh, there we go. Okay, so we have here the item price. Okay, and then the supplier number is uh inserted in this table to act as a foreign key for the supplier table we have mentioned before. Okay. Also, we have here the manufacturer number. Okay. Oops. Manufacturer number that will also act as a foreign key to connect the manufacturer table. Okay. We also have here the warehouse number with the integer data type and 255 size there. Okay. So we will be assigning an item. Okay. The, giving them the item name, its price, the supplier who distributes the item, the manufacturer that creates the item, and then the warehouse where the item could be located. Okay, so we have here a sample query on what has been stored or what has been written down to create rows. Okay, so it inserted an item. Okay, so it indicated that the item name, item price, supplier number, manufacturer number, and warehouse number will be filled out, and the values are as follows. Okay, so we have the chocolate chips and then a price of 250 since that is the second column that has been indicated in inserting records into the table name item. Okay. So we also have here numbers which represents the supplier number, the manufacturer number, and then the warehouse number. Okay, so previously we saw that we have records for the supplier. So if we will be referring this number one here into the supplier, we'll go back there. Where's the supplier? here's the supplier. So supplier number one is RPK Distributors from Dagupan City. Okay? So they are the ones who was assigned on the distribution of chocolate chips. Okay? And the chocolate chips has also the manufacturer number 3, which is, let's see. Okay, manufacturer number 3 is Com Foods Incorporated. Okay, so that is the reference, the manufacturer number 3. Okay, and then as for the warehouse number, okay, the chocolate chips can be located or retrieved from the location of the warehouse number 4, which is we have the record here. Okay, it is located on Dagupan City. So every item that has been inserted was also assigned, or it also has the assigned supplier number, manufacturer number, and then warehouse number. But unfortunately, okay, if we will retrieve the content of the table item, it will just give us like this report here. Okay, so an item number, item name, item price, the supplier number, but it doesn't give us the details about the supplier as well as the manufacturer and then the warehouse number. If you can recall correctly, on our previous discussion, we retrieve records from different tables by uh, by using their foreign keys and their primary key to the other table. Okay, so we'll do something like that in our discussion for today. Okay, so let's see. Okay, how can we retrieve the records from the supplier from the item? Okay, so let's try to have this as an example or to exercise our skills in retrieving records from different tables. Okay. All you have to do is to familiarize yourself on how the table was created. Okay, you can use that using the desk keyword. Okay, or you can also explore things like what we did earlier. Okay, so I'll type in here. Okay, I'll be retrieving, let's say, the item name. Okay, which is a column from the table item. Okay, so from table item, okay, I'll be having here a dot to specify that item, and then I'll get the item name. Okay, so right after that, I can retrieve the supplier name of that item. Okay, so the supplier name is located at the table supplier. Okay, and then I'll just get the let's say uh, the supplier uh, name. There we go. Here, I'll just get whatever is inside this that has been assigned on the item itself. Okay, so supplier. Oops, sorry. Okay, supplier name. And then I'll also get maybe we'll leave the other two for the next example. Okay, we'll just connect this to uh tables here. Okay, or get two items from two different tables. Okay, so select item, or select from table item, I'll get the item name. Okay, from the table supplier, I'll get the supplier name. Okay, and those items will be coming from the item and then the supplier. Okay, these are the names of the table that will be retrieving the records. Okay, so there you go. And then in the previous discussion, we said that if you want to connect two tables, okay, you must have a where clause. Okay, so in the where clause, you will specify a certain part of the table that has the connection to the other table, or it will act as a bridge. Okay, so I'll type in here where. Okay, okay, what does the item table have in common for the supplier? Okay, so the answer would be the item table has the supplier number which is also present on the supplier table. Okay, so I'll just type in here where the item will just use their supplier number, okay, to connect, okay, connect to supplier table, and then connect this foreign key of item table into the primary key or other key of a supplier. So supplier number. Okay. So if I'll be typing that query, it will just give me the item name from the table item, the supplier name from the table supplier, okay, and all of these two items or two records here will be coming from the table item and supplier. Okay, so these two tables here will be connected to each other via this command that I have just typed in here. Okay, it will act as a bridge because an a table that is uh, or that has a common field to the other table will act as their connection. Okay, so I'll just type in here. Okay, so it gave me the record for these items that I have earlier. Okay, so instead of displaying just numbers here, it retrieved the record inside the supplier table. Okay, and it gave me the representation of these items here. Okay, so there we go. We have here chocolate chips, which has the supplier number 1, which is RPK distributors. Okay. We have cheese noodles, okay, which is the item number 3, okay, with the supplier number 2, which is F2F Logistics, which is also assigned on the popcorn mix, okay, to verify. There we go. Supplier number 2, cheese noodle supplier number 2, ice candy supplier number 2. Okay, so it retrieved the right records for each of those supplier name from the table supplier. Okay, now we can also see that the marshmallows were the were distributed by Susir Foods Corporation, which is uh, supplier number 3. Okay, so if you want to double check that, we can go backwards uh from this view. Okay, so there we go. So Sir Foods Corporation is the supplier number 3, so it's correct. Okay, now if you want to display the address of the supplier, okay, you want to know the items, the supplier, and where the supplier came from, then you'll just have to uh, add other retrievable column on your select query. Okay, so I'll just type in here select item that item name, okay, from table supplier. I'll get their supplier name. And also from table supplier, I'll just get their address. Okay. And all of those things that I have just said will be coming from the table item and table supplier. Okay. Okay. Since we still have just two tables, we just need one bridge to connect them. So we will be having a where clause here where the item will be connecting using its supplier number, okay, foreign key, which is also found on the supplier table, okay, that has the primary key of supplier number. Okay, so there we go. Okay. We can see that the supplier came from different addresses and they have their selected items which are assigned to them to distribute. Okay, so that's how you connect to other tables and retrieve the record simultaneously. Now, we'll try to spice things up here. Okay, we'll try to retrieve the names of the supplier, the names of the manufacturer, and the names for the warehouse or the location where the item came from. Okay, so we have the first table, the item. Okay, we'll be retrieving its item name. The supplier name will be retrieving from the table supplier. The manufacturer name, which will be coming from the manufacturer table, and then the location, which will be coming from the warehouse. Okay, so let's try that one. Okay, we'll connect four tables. Okay, so select, let's say, coming from item table, we'll get its item name. Okay, and then coming from supplier table, we'll get its supplier name. Okay, and then coming from manufacturer table, okay, we'll get their manufacturer name. Okay, and then lastly, from the table of the warehouse, okay, we'll be getting the location. Okay, there we go. Okay, so why is it not warehouse location? Because the field was named as location. Okay, so next, okay, we specified what we want to get to each of these tables here. Now, for the referencing of that, okay, these items or these things that I have just mentioned will be coming from table item, okay, or item. It will also be coming from the table supplier, okay, since the supplier table will be providing us with the supplier name. Same goes to the manufacturer, okay, and then lastly we have the warehouse. Okay, so those are the four tables that will connect to each other just to give us the ability to retrieve their content, okay, simultaneously. Okay, so now we just said what we want to get, and then it will all be coming from these tables here that we have on our screen. And then now we'll try to establish connection of each of this table to each other. Okay, so we'll start from the table item. Okay, so where, okay, we'll try to create a bridge from item to the supplier. So what does the item have in common for the supplier? Okay, of course, the supplier number, which is our previous example. Okay, so from table item, it will connect via its supplier number foreign key to the table supplier, which has the supplier number as its primary key. Okay, so there we go. We have a bridge for these two tables here. Okay, and then next, okay, in this portion, we'll be getting the information from the manufacturer. Okay, so but if we will check, the supplier doesn't have any thing in common for the manufacturer. So we need other way to connect the supplier to the manufacturer. Okay. So what does this for here, or who in this for here has the common denominator to each of these uh, pairs that pairs of tables in our screen. Okay. So we'll be connecting each other using the table item because the table item has everything we need to connect to the supplier, to connect to this manufacturer, and then to connect to the warehouse. Okay, so we'll just type in here and, okay, another bridge coming from item, okay, will connect via its manufacturer number, okay, to the table manufacturer. Okay, so it will connect via the primary key of the manufacturer table, manufacturer number, and then another bridge will be coming from item again, because item has the common fields for these three other tables. Otherwise, you have to look for ways. Maybe we can discuss that later on. Okay, so there we go. Item, okay, will connect the item table to the warehouse. Okay, so item warehouse number, okay, which is its foreign key, connecting to the warehouse table, which has the primary key of warehouse number. So if we'll be using this query here, it will get these items from these tables, okay, and these tables will be talking to each other using a common field that they have to each other. Okay, supplier, manufacturer, and warehouse doesn't have anything in their in common, so that's why they need someone else to connect them to the other side, which is the item. Okay, so item is like a middleman just to keep those table connected to each other. Okay, so we'll just use that query and then press enter. Okay. Okay. So item manufacturer. Okay. So I forgot to type in the R. Okay, sorry for that. Okay. I'm kind of sleepy because you know what's the time now? It's already uh 1:55 a.m. Okay, so I'll just retype again. Okay. Okay. So that's a good query. Okay. And then from item, supplier, manufacturer, and warehouse, that's a good query. Okay. It gave me the error earlier that the item manufacturer number is uh here. Okay. This is the error. Okay. So I'll just keep that in check. Okay. And here we go. Okay. Instead of manufacturer number, I'll just type in here manufacturer number. And there we go. Maybe this would do now. Okay. And then warehouse. Where's the warehouse? There. Okay. So we just retype again. Okay. Let's try this one. Okay. Warehouse number, warehouse number. Yes. Okay. So we have the result here. Okay, it retrieved the information of the item name from the table items. Okay, it also gave us the supplier name content from the table supplier. Okay, so that these two here were our first example, but we spiced things up and then added a condition wherein we'll also be including the manufacturer name and then the location for the manufacturer. Okay, so that is this query here is how we connect to each of those items that we have mentioned earlier. Okay, so I guess that's a good example on how to retrieve parts of uh, a table and then other parts of other table to the single query. Okay, so now I'll be teaching you another feature of the SQL wherein it will give us a, let's say, uh a sentence form instead of this table form. Okay, maybe I want to have a result wherein it SQL tells me that F2F GSK Corporation that is found on or GSK Corporation, which manufactures popcorn mix and distributed by F2F Logistics to the Maluwood warehouse. Okay. I want the SQL to say something like that. Okay. So instead of using this query here, okay, we'll be typing another addition to our code. Okay. So instead of select item, then item name, we'll be using concat. Okay, concat or CONCAT. Okay, it stands for concatenate. Okay, it means it combines strings or words. Okay, in digital terminologies, strings are uh, words or part of a sentence. Okay, so anything that is a text is a string. Okay. So concat creates creates the feature to concatenate strings and uh column names. Okay. Let's try first a very simple example. Maybe uh item name first and then the supplier name. Okay. We need a result that gives us like popcorn mix was distributed by F2F Logistics, something like that. Okay, so instead of select and then displaying the columns, okay, we'll use concat. Okay, select concat and then we'll retrieve the item name from table item. Okay, so from table item, we'll get the item name. Okay, and then uh, excuse me for a second. Okay, sorry for that. Okay, so okay, we have here concat open and close parentheses and then comma. Okay. So after having that comma, we'll try to combine, let's say, a string or a word, okay, or words, okay, that will be enclosed in a parenthesis. Okay. So select concat. Okay. The concatenated words would be the item name. Okay. And then space was or uh, distributed. Distributed by then space and then close quotation or double quote and then comma and then the supplier name, okay, which is coming from the table supplier. Okay, and then we'll get the supplier name. Okay, so it likes or it looks like the concat, whatever is inside this open and close parenthesis will be concatenated to each other or will be combined to each other. So for example, the name distributed by the supplier name. Okay, something like that. Okay, and then we'll just have to display this using the alias uh, feature. Okay, so we'll distribute this or we'll have an alias here. Items from the store. Okay, something like that. Okay, or you can also go on single quote if you want. Okay, let's try this one. Okay. Okay. So it will concatenate these items here and it will display as items from this store. Okay. And these items will be coming from item and then table supplier. Okay. Okay. So after specifying where where the things will be retrieved from, okay, we'll have to type in the bridge to connect item to the supplier where item will be connecting via its supplier number, okay, connecting to this table supplier, and then supplier number. I keep on pressing O. Sorry. Okay, so, supplier number. And then, let's try this one here. Okay, so it created a sentence form instead of a tabulated form. Okay, using the concat. Okay, select and then it concatenate whatever is inside here. Okay, so the name of the item and then the string or the text distributed by, and then the supplier name, the RPK distributors, and it displayed these items as items from the store. Okay, so I guess uh that's how you do concatenate. Okay. Now, let's try to uh, keep on practicing this concat. Okay. We want to uh, have this table here displayed just like this. Okay. So, let's say a popcorn mix distributed by F2F Logistics, or popcorn mix created or manufactured by GSK Corporation and distributed by F2F Logistics to our Maluwid warehouse. Or you can also go, the popcorn mix located at Maluwid warehouse were manufactured by GSK Corporation and distributed by F2F Logistics. Maybe we can go with that one. Okay, so let's try to create a query to create a sentence like that. Okay, so here, select concat. Okay, you can have that as in lowercase if you want. Okay, anyways, SQL is not case sensitive. Okay, concat, and then uh the item name will be coming from the table item. Okay, so we'll retrieve the item name, and then a string or a word or words, let's say the item space located at, and then we'll mention the, oops, I almost forgot, don't forget, comma. Okay, so that is uh, the delimiter for the concatenated text. Okay, so item name located at, and then it will retrieve the location from the table warehouse. Okay, so we're coming from warehouse table, we'll retrieve the location. Okay, okay, and then comma, item name located at, location, and then uh, distributed by uh, created or manufactured first. Okay, manufactured by, then space, we'll get the manufacturer name through the table manufacturer. Okay, that manufacturer name. Okay, okay, and then I hope you can still see the text. Okay, so manufactured by manufacturer name, then we'll just have to continue this to the next line. After the manufacturer name, okay, manufactured by the name, another is uh, distributed by, or space, oops, space, and distributed by, and then the name of the distributor or the supplier. Okay, and distributed by comma, supplier table will get the supplier name from it. Oops. Okay, sorry for this one here. I'm kind of sleepy. Sorry. Okay, so supplier. Okay, and there we go. I will be selecting different columns from different tables. Okay, so the item name located at the location, coming from the warehouse table, manufactured by the name of the manufacturer, okay, from the table manufacturer, and distributed by the name of the supplier from the table supplier. Okay, it will display this as uh, item details, something like that. Item details. Okay, so single quote or double quote, whatever will do. Okay, so it will be displayed something like that, and then there we go. Next, we'll try to give reference to these things that we want to retrieve. Okay, these things that we want to retrieve will be coming from table item, table supplier, table, let's say, manufacturer, okay, and then table warehouse. Okay, so these tables here will be connected to each other by using a where clause. Okay, so where item will be connecting via its supplier number foreign key to the table supplier, okay, which has the supplier number as its primary key. Okay, now we are connected to the supplier. We'll now connect to the manufacturer. So supplier to manufacturer doesn't have anything in common, so we'll just have to rely on other table again. Okay, so item, manufacturer number, which is also present on the table manufacturer. Okay, so it's like whatever is in common will be used for connection. Okay, just like how you talk to other people. If you have something in common, then you're good to go in talking to that people or person. Sorry. Okay. So there, and then last bridge would be connecting to the warehouse, okay, using warehouse number, okay, connecting to the warehouse table, okay, using its warehouse number primary key, and then semicolon. Okay, let's try this one here. I hope it doesn't have any error. Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay. So it gave us the item details. Popcorn mix located at Maluwid Warehouse, manufactured by GSK Corporation and distributed by F2F Logistics, and the others as follows. Okay, so that's how concat works. Okay, uh if you want to combine two columns, okay, or two fields into one single string, just use concat. Okay, so the concat, and then the talk about uh, this how to retrieve data from different tables simultaneously is something like how to combine to have uh, a single report, okay, something like what we are seeing on the screen. So we have more examples for this, but that will be for the future discussions. As of now, we exercise our ability to connect to each other, okay, not just two tables but three and four. Okay, maybe we can have more. Okay, and then uh we also discuss on how to use concat, okay, to create a single string combining fields or converting tabular form into a text form like this one here. So again, thank you for the time listening, and I hope you learned something. Have a nice day ahead.